Dipper and Mabel Pines return to Gravity Falls after a year away, but something has changed. Even the road to town seems more mysterious. The trees stand unusually quiet, and there's a strange tension in the air. The bus stops at the Mystery Shack, and the driver quickly leaves, muttering something about weird energy in these parts. The shack looks better from the outside, but the twins notice unusual details. All windows are covered with thick curtains, and birds gather on the roof, silently watching everything below. They're greeted by Soos, but he looks tired and nervous. Dark circles under his eyes, hands slightly trembling as he holds his daughter. When Soos introduces the baby, something mysterious happens. All the clocks in the shack stop at exactly 3:33. Soos nervously laughs and says this happens every day at this time since his daughter was born. We don't know why," he whispers, shaking his head. Dipper takes out his new journal, but when he opens it near the baby, the pages turn dark. Then glowing symbols appear and disappear within seconds. Mabel tries to hold the little girl, but she starts crying with such an unusual sound that all the glass in the house begins to vibrate. Wendy rides up to the shack on her bicycle, but she looks troubled. She tells them her anomaly-fighting business is thriving because something incredible is happening in the forest. Animals behave strangely, gathering in large groups and staring in one direction. Tourists find perfectly circular patches in the forest where grass grows twice as fast as normal. Inside the shack, the atmosphere is even more mysterious. All the potted plants have withered and turned black, except those in the nursery. They grow at incredible speed, their leaves shimmering with strange colors. Soos explains this started right after his daughter was born. Soos's daughter doesn't seem like an ordinary baby. She almost never blinks when people look at her, and her eyes sometimes become unusually dark. When she sleeps, you can hear her quietly murmuring in an unknown language. Soos admits he feels uncomfortable being alone with her at night. Wendy shows photographs taken in the forest tall. Thin silhouettes can be seen watching from behind trees. These aren't animals or people, but something completely different. She says these figures appeared around the same time Soos's daughter was born, and there are more and more of them. When evening comes, the temperature in the house drops sharply, even though it's warm outside. Soos's daughter begins making melodic but eerie sounds, not crying or babbling, but something like ancient songs. In response to these sounds, an echo comes from the forest, many voices singing in unison. The friends look out the window and see a mesmerizing but frightening sight. Tall, graceful beings with long limbs and glowing eyes emerge from the forest. They move smoothly, as if dancing, and all head toward the shack. There are more and more of them, dozens, hundreds. Dipper tries to write down what's happening in his journal, but the ink begins to glow and change color, and the pages become warm to the touch. Mabel grabs the amulet Uncle Stan gave her, but it starts pulsing with strange light. Wendy takes out her equipment, but all the devices show incredible readings. The creatures surround the shack but don't come too close. They just stand and watch the nursery windows, swaying slightly to an unheard rhythm. Soos whispers, "They come every night, just watching. Melody warned me in a letter that our daughter would attract the attention of those who wait. But I didn't understand what she meant." Suddenly, Soos's daughter opens her eyes. They've become completely dark, like a starless night sky. She turns her head toward the window and smiles a mysterious smile. At that moment, all the creatures outside synchronously turn their heads and begin glowing brighter, creating an incredibly beautiful but eerie spectacle. The temperature drops even more, and breath becomes visible. Moving shadows appear on the walls that don't correspond to any objects in the room. Dipper notices his journal opens by itself to a blank page, and an invisible force begins writing in glowing letters. She awakens. The time is near. We have waited so long. Soos carefully takes his daughter in his arms, and she becomes an ordinary baby again. Her eyes return to their normal color. The creatures outside slowly dissolve into the forest darkness. The temperature normalizes. But strange glowing traces remain on the floor, and the air carries the scent of unknown flowers. Wendy checks her equipment. It shows normal readings, but the screens flicker with strange symbols. Dipper looks at his journal. The page is blank again, but the paper radiates gentle warmth. Mabel hugs Soos and quietly asks, "What's happening to your daughter?" Soos shakes his head. "I don't know, but Melody left detailed notes, in case the situation changes." The friends go to bed, but sleep doesn't come. Outside the window, melodic sounds can be heard singing, whispers, footsteps on the roof. Dipper writes in his journal, "Soos's daughter has unusual abilities. She's connected to ancient forest beings. Must study Melody's notes and discover the truth." In the nursery, the baby lies with open eyes, calmly watching the ceiling. She quietly hums a melody in a language that sounds older than time itself. And somewhere deep in the forest, something ancient and powerful slowly awakens, responding to her call.